Hello, my friends. Welcome once again to the Narcos Networking channel. My name is Luis Narciso, and as you may know, I am on a challenge, or should I say, a quest, in which I'm talking about the Border Gateway Protocol for 100 days. I'm at day 95 now. I'm only missing 5 days to achieve my goal. If you have seen the last video on it, we have figured out how to solve the asymmetric routing problem that we were facing at the time. So, for today, I will provide a little bit of resilience to the Transit AS 65000, adding a new FortiGate firewall to the topology and configuring it to be part of an active-passive cluster with automatic failover. For that, I am going to change the name of the first firewall for router FortiGate 4_1, and then I will add a switch named switch 1 transit AS between the FortiGate and the MikroTik. I will add a switch because of the simplicity of the configurations. This could be achieved also on the MikroTik to act so that it can act as a switch too, but for now I'm not going to do it. And if I have the time, I'll do it on another video. After this, I will configure another port in VLAN 140 on the extreme switch so that the connection between the FortiGate and the extreme could happen. So, uh, enough of talking, let's start the job. So I will add a new switch and configure it. So node switch, layer 2 switch. Let's name it. Let's change here the icon to a layer 2 device. For Ethernet, we will have one Ethernet, which means 4 ports. And let's say, okay, let's start it. Let's open the switch. Here it is. Now, what are we going to do now? We are going to see if it answers. Okay, nice. It has the host name already. So let's configure terminal. Let's create the VLAN 160. Let's name it. It's FortiGate to MikroTik VLAN. Okay. Now let's configure the interface that will connect to the MikroTik and to the two FortiGates. 00 will connect to the MikroTik. Let's give him a description. Connect to MikroTik router 2. Let's place it in access mode. Switch port. Oops. Mode access. Switch port access VLAN 160. Spanning tree port fast so that it reconverges in a faster way. Duplex full. No shutdown. Now for the other two interfaces, let's do the same. So port 0/1 will connect to FortiGate to the first FortiGate. Let's say router FortiGate 4_1, and let's copy this. It will be useful. Okay. No shutdown. Interface Ethernet 0/2. We will do the same. Okay. No shutdown. Show HAN interface Ethernet 00. It's well properly configured. 01 properly configured, and 02 also properly configured. Let's copy this to the startup config so that when the switch reboots, it could reboot with the proper configuration. Let's see our VLAN, and we have it here. It's created, it's active, and it's on these three ports. So for the switch, I believe we are done. Now let's configure the FortiGate one so that it can be part of a cluster and be the master. So let's open it. Pum, pum, pum. Admin, super user password, as you may know already. Now, what are we going to do? We are going to configure the hostname. Config system global, set the new hostname to _1. Okay. Done. Hostname changed. Now let's configure the system interface. Let's edit port 1. What do we have here? We have here the IP.42. It is what we need to have. It is a /26. It's okay. So let's configure the HA. Config system HA, high availability, and let's provide it with a group name. Boot firewalls should have the same group ID. So the group ID, we are going to say firewall 12. Let's give him a name. Set group name, and let's say that is FortiGate router 4 cluster. Done. Now let's set the mode. We have 2 or 3 types of modes. It's standalone, active passive, and active active. For now and for this video, we are going to make it active passive. As you can see, standalone AA AP. We are going to select AP. Now we are going to set a password so that the firewalls can establish the AJ between them. And for the password, FortiGate router cluster. Now we are going to set the earth-bit device. This earth-bit device, or this earth-bit port, will act as a way of communications between boot firewalls so that they can synchronize the sessions, the data to see if they are working properly or not. Okay, so that if something happens, if something went badly, they can change roles from primary to secondary. So let's configure it. Cert earthbit device, and we are going to say that is port 4, the earthbit device that we are going to use, and um, we can select a priority for these. To say which port will have priority. And what does that mean? This means that we can select more ports than one. Okay, if we wanted, we could select other port, for example, port one, and we can select the priority. Higher the priority, higher the port that will be used to synchronize the heartbeat. So for now, we are going to use only one port. More. We are going to say to the firewall that the firewall should monitor port 2 and port 1. And why? Because port 2 and port 1 are two ports that are very important. And if one fails, the firewall knows that it should become secondary, and the other takes over and continues to deliver the traffic to the MikroTik and to the Extreme switch. So let's say that we are going to monitor port 1 and port 2. Set monitor port 1, port 2. Now, we will also want the firewall to pick up the sessions so that when the clients are communicating to the exterior world, they can maintain their sessions and their traffic. And if the failover occurs, the end user will notice nothing or near nothing. They will miss a ping or two, so it's nothing for the end user. So let's set the session pickup enable. We can also, this is for the TCP sessions, but we can also use another command to the ICMP and to the UDP sessions. So for that, we are going to set session pickup connectionless. Yes, that's one. Enable. And we will use another command that is called override. And we are going to enable it. And what does this command? This command, the override, will say that this firewall, um, when it goes down, the other takes action. But when this firewall comes up again, it will take over. It will override the HA process. So um, let's configure this. Uh, we can set the priority of the HA, and higher the priority, um, higher the FortiGate will be selected as primary. The priority values goes from 0 to 55. We are going to say that this is the firewall that we want to be primary, so we are going to configure it, for example, with 138, and as the default value is 128, we can place this with 138, and I will explain later why. And boom, configuration is done. Now we can have a management IP on the firewall, so that if we need to configure it directly, we can go to that IP. Instead of going to the cluster IP, that will only go to, or will only provide us access to the active firewall or to the primary firewall. So let's config system interface. Let's edit our port 1 and let's set the management IP to a range here on our network 124.42, and let's place it dot one 124.42.1. It's a slash 26. Done. And now we are going to leave this, and for now we have the configurations of the AJ done on firewall 1. So let's diagnose system AJ status to see what is happening behind the table. Diagnose system AJ status. And what do we have here? We have here that we belong to group IT 12. We have the sessions pickup enabled. This firewall is primary. We have the priority 138. We have his name. It belongs to vCluster 1. It's working. It has the primary IP in the IP field 169.254.0.1. And nothing more. So for firewall 1, for now we are done. Now we are going to add our second firewall. Where is it? FortiGate. What is the name? Router FortiGate 4.2. Router FortiGate 4_2. Select the icon. Let's place it with 2048 megabytes of RAM. 4 Ethernet ports, okay. And let's save it. Okay. Let's run it and let's open it. Okay. It's up and running. Let's set our super user password. Okay, it's done. Now let's start configuring our firewall. So to configure our firewall, we are going to start with the host name. Config system global. Set host name. Router FortiGate 4_2. And now, what are we going to say? We are going to configure the AJ. Config system AJ. And let's configure it like the other. Set group ID 12. Set group name FortiGate router-4. Set mode active passive. Set password FortiGate router-cluster. Set our heartbeat device to port 4, 128. Let's set the what do we need to set more? Set monitor port 1 and port 2. Uh, Set session pickup enabled. Set session pickup connectionless enable. Here the set override will be disabled because we don't want this firewall to take over. We want the firewall number one to take over, and we are going to set the no, we are not going to set the priority because the priority is 128 by default. Uh, as you can see, if we place show full configuration, we should have here the priority, and it doesn't appear if we do only a show because it is part of the default configuration. So now we are going to configure the management IP on the, no, we are not going to configure the management IP. We are going to see if they sync. Let's see, show, it's not show, it's diagnose. Diagnose system HA status. And this firewall is saying it's the primary, it's normal because they are not connected to each other via the port 4. So let's do the connection and see what happens. Port 4 to port 4, save, FortiGate 2, FortiGate 1. Okay, let's see if they start talking with each other. Get system AJ status. And what do we have here in the get system AJ status? It's okay. It's inactive passive. The uptime is 7 minutes. Belongs to group 12. Is selected as primary because it's the only member. Port 4 is the Earthbeat device. Let's see the configuration. So system HA, and here show system HA. I missed the group name. Here I placed group name FortiGate router 4 cluster, and on the other I did it wrongly. So they would never synchronize. Let's configure it again. Configure system HA, set group name and the same group name. We don't have anything else different. It's only the priority, so I believe we are good to go. And now let's see what happens. Wow, now it appears something here. We have our FortiGate as primary, and we have the other as secondary. As secondary? No, it's yes, it says secondary. So let's see if they sync. Configuration status, as we can see here, from our FortiGate is in sync, and from the secondary is out of sync. So, and the secondary is saying that secondary external files are not in sync. We are trying to synchronize. This can take a while, so let's wait. And while we wait, we can start configuring on the extreme switch the on the extreme switch we can start configuring the port that will provide connection to the FortiGate, similar to port 1. So it will be a port in VLAN 140 and will be in an untagged so that it can behave as an access port. So let's grab our extreme switch. Haha, our firewall has succeeded to sync to the external files with the primary. Let's see again this command, get system HA status. And what do we have here? We have that it is in sync and the configuration is out of sync yet. So the firewall is now saying that secondary's configuration is not in sync with the primary, so it will begin to synchronize the configuration. It will grab um, the policies, the BGP, the interfaces, everything that is configured in FortiGate 1 will become duplicated to FortiGate 2. So let's continue with our process on the extreme. And for the extreme, we are going to configure VLAN. Configure VLAN. I don't remember if it is. Oh, I am on the FortiGate. Sorry. Configure VLAN 140. Add ports. What was the port? Port 3. At port 3. Untagged. Boom, done. Port 3 is now has now moved from VLAN default to transit ISP VLAN, that is the VLAN 140. So if we do a show ports configuration, what do we have more? Port number 4. Okay, port number, no refresh. And we have here that we have port 3 on the VR default. Link state is waiting for connection. It has an R. For A, it means active. For R, it means, where is the R? Hmm, I don't see the R. Ready. It's ready to configuration. Okay, very well. So now that we have ports configured, we need to see if the firewall syncs. It is failing. Let's try to understand why it is failing. Sometimes we need to do a reboot to the firewall so that it can sync when it comes up again. But let's wait. Hmm. While we wait, maybe we can start doing... Oh, it failed again. I will do a reboot to the firewall. sometimes the reboot helps. Okay, now we are going to connect the switch to the MikroTik. We are going to delete these ports. We are going to place this here. Ethernet 1 goes to Ethernet 1 from MikroTik goes to Ethernet 00. And let's wait. First, we need the devices to sync. What can we do more? We can duplicate this. We are going to say that we have VLAN 160 here. Let's see if our firewall is in sync. It is syncing. Let's hope that we have a success in here in a while. After we have the success, we can see via the checksum that the firewall really is in sync. Come on. Let's cross our fingers. Boom! Secondary succeeded to sync. Fantastic. Oh, so if we enter now firewall number 2 and if we go to see, do you remember that we didn't configure the BGP processing here, right? If we go to see show router BGP, haha, we have here configurations that we didn't make. And if you go to see show firewall policy, we also have our policies. Um, Now, what can we do more on firewall number 2? We can set the management IP of firewall number 2 to the .2 of this network. So config system interface, edit port 1. We have the same IP that we have on the FortiGate 1. We are going to say that now our management IP is 100.24.42.2/26. This is a configuration that is not propagated via the HA because it will cause conflict, and we don't want that. We want to be able to access this firewall independently of the other. So we have this IP that is used on the interface, and to connect to the cluster we can use the .42. To connect to each other individually we use the .1 or the .2. So we are going to say and it's done. We have configured our port on the on the extreme switch. The firewall is in sync. At this point in time, we can see that is in sync with the command to see the checksum. And to see the checksum, how was it? I don't, it was diagnosis HA checksum. if I'm not mistaken. Diagnosis HA, checksum, and show. And now we can see that these uh, these values match with these values. And if they were with a mismatch, the firewalls would not be in sync. So there is other way also uh, to configure the monitor or the HA instead of the only the ports. We can use a link monitor, and the link monitor, it's an improvement to the client's environment. With this, we can have failovers, not only with the failure of the ports, but also with the links towards the next hop. Um, so uh, let's configure it. Config system link monitor. Let's edit and place the name of the link monitor. Edit, remote check for port 1. We are going to say that our source interface is port 1. We are going to say this it's port 1 because the probes are sending out of this port. We are going to set the server that we are going to ping or probe to 2.2.2.2. That is the MikroTik loopback. Okay. So what are we saying? We are saying that from FortiGate port 1 that will connect here to the switch in a while. The probes are going to be sent to reach out to 2.2.2. And if the probes don't reach 2.2.2, the firewall will know that the link is with issues and will fail over to FortiGate 2. So let's set our gateway IP. That is the next hop for port 1. It will be the 124.42.24, the MikroTik IP. More. We are going to say that we are going to use our loopback address from the to be our source IP. We are going to say that we want to probe these in an interval of 500 milliseconds. And we are going to say that if it fails after 6 tries, 3 seconds more or less, it will fail over. And we are going to set the AJ priority to 10. And here becomes why I didn't explain it, the value of the priority for the AJ. If we go here and I show system AJ, show full configuration system AJ. Here we have this value 128. Okay, and what happens? We configured here on the FortiGate 1 the value 138. This command here on the link monitor, set AJ priority 10, means if the firewall fails to ping the loopback of the MikroTik for 6 times, 3 seconds, as I told you, it will decrease the priority value in 10. So what will happen is that after 6 seconds, the priority of the FortiGate 1 will be 118. 118 it's lower than 128. So this means that firewall number 2 will assume the role of active. So let's do the same for port 2. Let's copy this. And for port 2, we are going to ping the extremes loopback 1.1.1.1 via the extreme IP 114.41.14, and from our loopback address we are going to say is also. Oh, I missed the command. I missed the command, but I will configure it. It's the recovery time. Set recovery time to 6. I didn't. It's okay. 6. A bug on the FortiGate or on the mobile extreme. It's not working. Okay, let's open it again. Ah, my boba is not working properly. Bugs that happen. Just a moment. Let me kill the process. Sorry for that. Okay, now it's killed. I need to open it again, sorry. And thank you for your patience. I was configuring the link monitor. So let's see what happened here. Okay, it got the commands. Let's edit our HA number 1 and set the same. Set recovery time to uh, 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 to 6. And okay, now that we have achieved this configuration, uh, what can we do more? Well, let's say to the firewall to use port 1 and port 2 to reach the configured ping servers and send tests through port 1 and port 2 to monitor the interfaces for the upstream connectivity. So what we did here, it is just an action to the firewall behave, but the firewall needs a trigger, and the trigger is configured on the AJ config system AJ, and we are going to say set ping server monitor interface port 1 and port 2. Now let's proceed with the connections, but first of all let's see that the configurations have been propagated to FortiGate 2. If you remember, we didn't have an HA link monitor, and now boom, it's here, it's created. How amazing is this? Now we connected the MikroTik to the switch. Now we are going to connect firewall 1, port 1 to switch port 1 on the switch. Okay, we are going to do the same for firewall 2. We are going to connect port 1 to Ethernet 2. Okay, now what do we need more here? We need to connect this port 2 to port 3 of the extreme. Okay, it's done. Now let's see how is the HA behavior on the firewalls. And to see it, we are going to use the command diagnose system HA status. And we have that our primary firewall, it's the FortiGate 4_1, and we can see it here. Hostname FortiGate 4_1, it's primary, and FortiGate 2, it's secondary. Here we can see the priority, as I told you before, and what can we see more? We can see on the active firewall the diagnosis link monitor. Sys link monitor status. And what can we see here with this command? Let's check it. With this command, we can see that we have the source interface port 1 with the source IP 4.4.4.4 with the interval of 500 milliseconds, trying to reach the peer 2.2.2.2 from the source IP 4.4.4.4 with the gateway, okay, protocol ping, and it's alive. That is what we need. If this value here was saying dead, um, we would have this firewall as secondary, not primary. And we can test it. Let's do the test. So for that, we are going to let's put the ping running from the extreme towards the loopback 4.4.4. So let me open the extreme. And let's see, show IP route to 4.4.4.4/32. And for the IP route 4.4.4.4, we know that we can go via 10, 100, 14, 41, 41, which is our FortiGate 1, that is the active. So let's do a ping VR default continuous towards 4.4.4.4 from 1.1.1.1. So now, as we said, that we are monitoring port 1 and port 2, we are going to delete this port. Let's delete it. Boom, delete it. Let's see what happened to the pings. Oh, nothing happens to the pings. Oh, we missed one. Let's see what is happening at the firewall level. So now we are seeing that the ping state still says alive. Why is that? How can the firewall say that is alive? Oh, it was alive. Now it isn't. Because please run this command on the primary firewall. It means why it is saying it's alive. It should be dead. Hmm, this is weird. But nevertheless, it may be a software bug. Let's diagnose sys HA status. And now, what are we seeing here? We are seeing here that FortiGate 2 is the primary. And we can see it better with the get system HA status. With the system HA status, what can we see? We have a warning. FortiGate 1 has a monitor device down. Very well. Mm, The configurations are in sync. And we need to see moon device. It's here, moon device. So for the moon device, we have port 1 and port 2. And on the monitor device, physical 00, it's saying down. And this was what triggered the failover. So, but if you remember, we have set it up the override. Let's see how is the firewall tool. Get system AJ status. And for firewall 2, we know that the primary is this one. And this one is the secondary. So primary, it's here. Primary 4_2. Secondary 4_1. But if you remember, as I told you, we have the override enable. So let's connect again the cable. Save. And now let's watch again what is happening on firewall 1. And look at this. Amazing. It changed immediately. Let's take a look at our pings again. We lost a ping. What is a ping in the internet world? Nothing. So, as you can see, uh, we have successfully created a scenario that provides resilience to our topology. Um, and it's just fantastic how this world works and what we can achieve if we have the correct mindset. So let's why did we configure the AJ with override? Do you know? Well, if you don't know, I will tell you. I will talk a little bit about this. This is something that is called preemption. And regarding the benefits of the preemption, it means that we can have a predictable primary device with this configuration that is useful when the FortiGate is in a preferred rack or a power zone. It also helps keeping the design intent of the engineer intact. Uh, and in some environments, the primary device is connected to a core switch A, and the secondary can be connected to a core switch B. Um, the override will ensure that the traffic will always flow through the intended topology. And this is useful in data centers where you can have controlled environments with stable power and stable links. This is why the override works well because in these kind of environments the failures are rare, the recovery is controlled, and we want automatic feedback. But this is not only good stuff. We also have caveats or risks of the override. Um, and this is where people and engineers get in trouble. And like, because the failback causes another traffic interruption when the higher priority unit comes back. It forces the takeover, the sessions flip again, and a brief traffic interruption will happen again. So, even with the session synchronization, we may see micro interrupts, asymmetric routing issues, and ARP reconvergence delays. Um, and if we have a link failure, for example, that is flapping, the firewall will always try to override the 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 primary role, and this is not good to business. So take attention when configuring the override. See if it is really required, if you have the conditions, the environment conditions, so to implement it. Um, what can I say more? Uh, Nothing. Like, I think that for today we are here at almost 1 hour. Um, I hope that you have enjoyed this content, and I hope it is helpful for you and for your day-to-day basis, to your routines. I just want to appreciate the time that you have spent being here with me. So, thank you for watching, and see you soon.